Good morning, First Presbyterian Church family. This finds you well on Thursday, January 6th. Happy Epiphany. This is the day that we mark the arrival of the wise men to bear the gifts. For the sake of telling all the Christmas stories and for our sake of our Christmas pageants and our manger scenes, we combine the two events, though if you read the scriptural witness, there's time separates the two. By the point of the wise men, they're actually back into a house and have set up house keeping there in Bethlehem for a season before they have to go to Egypt. Bearing the gifts, and this closes out the Christmas season that began with Advent and the 4 Sundays of preparation, Christmas, that's Christmas Eve and Christmas Day and the days that follow. From our secular calendar, there is Thanksgiving, there is New Year's also in that mix. I tend to look at this block of time, really from the weekend before to the weekend, this coming weekend, as to me, it's a block of time in my mind, and I'll explain. There's that Sunday before Thanksgiving, which typically in churches we gather together to ask the Lord's blessing or other familiar Thanksgiving hymns. It is Christ the King Sunday, which, while it does liturgically wraps up the previous year, and first Sunday of Advent starts the new year. I think you could make an argument that it also bookends this whole block, because this coming Sunday is Baptism of the Lord. I'll get to that. Also, in Great Britain, where they do not have a Thanksgiving holiday like we do, and maybe in other countries, I know Canada has a Thanksgiving earlier in the fall. The Sunday before is called Stir-Up Sunday, and I referenced it without giving facts, the story behind it. I said I was going to, and I'm now doing just that. There is a prayer for that Sunday in the Anglican Church about stir up, Lord, in us, stir us up, as sort of a prelude to Christmas and the Advent season. This is the Sunday before, knowing that it's coming. It's not quite the same as playing Christmas carols on November 1st, like some of our radio stations, or even in October, but it is sort of that prelude. Also, for these great English families that would do the homemade Christmas pudding, which is really a type of fruitcake. I still like it, though. I like fruitcake. But anyway, to prepare, if you made your Christmas pudding at home, there are elements you put into it and you let it ferment, rest a while. It was a way to prepare all the steps to prepare it up for Christmas. This was the Sunday to do that. And if you began doing Christmas, and that was the easy way of setting up for Christmas, is we do a little bit now, we do a little bit here, we do a little bit there, versus my approach, just jump in there and spend 8 hours and upstairs is set up kind of thing, and then hours for the downstairs. This was the Sunday you could begin to get some things out and ready. Give for the homemaker, give her a little extra time to get things ready. It was a sense of preparation. Okay, that's your story of Stir-Up Sunday, a preparation Sunday. Anyway, the Thanksgiving Sunday, that kicks off with Thanksgiving and then into Advent, Christmas, New Year's, those big 3 holidays that I've referenced, looking to the past, the present, and the future. Epiphany actually concludes the Christmas season, because we're in from the 25th to yesterday, we were in the Christmas season and the 12 days of Christmas. That's what that song's about, not before, but Christmas actually kicks it off. It concludes today. This coming weekend is Baptism of the Lord, and if I preached liturgically with that through the calendar, I'd be speaking about the appearance of Jesus being brought by his parents he was not baptized, but you often tie it in, being brought to the temple as dedication, and then you might launch in, and then baptized years later by John the Baptist. Anyway, kind of telescoping some of the events together, but kind of signaling, now we go into the life and ministry of Jesus, and then we go into Lent, and then the time that follows. Weekend before Thanksgiving, to me, kicks off a season. And for me, the full weekend after New Year's And again, usually it's going to be the second weekend in January. It depends on when New Year's falls. But to me, that second weekend ends that block of time. It adds a little bit longer for us because we have Mary Claire's birthday coming up on January 11th. And depending on the plans, for her birthday plans, it's either the weekend before or the weekend after that we do a party. And in terms of our preparations and being busy, that really closes us out in early January. But having said all of that, from this Sunday forward, it's about putting into place the habits that I've thought for myself about the coming year, or any approaches, any practices that I want to put into place. The Sunday after Easter in particular, and you could even say the Sunday after Christmas, has been called by some pastors, "So what Sunday?" We've made the big celebration. So what? What does it matter? Those are typically low attendance for various reasons. Those are typically low attendance. But for those that are here, what does this mean? That's another broadcast there. If there's such thing as a "So what Sunday," I call this Sunday "Now what Sunday." So, whatever resolution you have made, or a commitment to a certain practice, or maybe this is going to be my theme word for the next year or block of time. One of mine is simply, it's a cinch by the inch, and thinking through a lot that needs to be done, break it down into small pieces. Do this one piece. Don't stress over the big picture. Break it down and then do one thing at a time. That's one of my mottos coming into this next block of time. Whatever it is, this is the Sunday. You put it all behind, everything else behind you. The old year, the celebration season, you celebrate all that's good, but to a degree, you now put it into action or put things aside. That is the call for this. Next week, I haven't picked my study yet, but I'll begin another study commentary series going into the new year. I will start that then. So we'll still do this on Thursday. Thursday Thoughts will continue on Thursday. I'm not going to change my date for that, but we will make that transition. So my parting thoughts, as I wrap up with a hymn and a prayer, are just, this is Now What Sunday. What is your one thing, or even if you got 3 or 4, what's going to address first, to put out there to go forward? Celebrating all that is good and to go forward. I want to share here a hymn which we sometimes sing on Epiphany Sunday, "As with Gladness, Men of Old," or the Sunday after Christmas. We did that in 18. I see we sung that the Sunday after Christmas. As with gladness, men of old did the guiding star behold, as with joy they hailed its light, leading onward, beaming bright. So, most gracious Lord, may we evermore be led to Thee. Holy Jesus, every day keep us in the narrow way, and when earthly images and things are past, bring our ransomed souls at last, where there need no star to guide, where no clouds Thy glory hide. This is I kind of like this one. I do like this one. And one of the things that I like about it is that pointing forward, that North Star. What is that star that's going to guide you? That one thing. And then let me conclude with this reference. Leighton Ford shared in a post, and I put that on Facebook. You can see it there. Leighton Ford married a sister of Billy Graham. Leighton Ford's actually a Presbyterian minister. His wife, as I said, is a sister to Billy Graham, and he himself has a very interesting life. He was Leighton Ford was actually adopted, and learned more of the story of his birth family. That's made a kind of a spiritual journey. He and his wife had 2 sons and a daughter. Older son, just kind of in the best sense of the word, a golden child, the kind of son that everybody wants to have. Actually died in college of a heart condition. Good athlete, but died, Sandy. And much of his reflection on that spoke and ministered to people. And then has a second son who is obviously the Graham genes favored him. If you ever seen that, he was actually, I think, a year behind me at Carolina. I would see him on, never got brave enough to say hello, but I'm sure he'd been a nice guy. I just was like, oh, you're kind of a famous part of a famous family. But it's obvious that those Graham genes are in that second son. But anyway, Leighton Ford, based in Charlotte, had this to say. My prayer on this New Year's Day, courtesy of Thomas Merton, and many people like him too. My Lord God, I have no idea where I'm going. I do not see the road ahead of me. I cannot know for certain where it will end, nor do I really know myself. And the fact that I think I'm following your will does not mean that I'm actually doing so. But I believe the desire to please you does in fact please you, and I hope that I have that desire in all that I am doing. I hope that I will never do anything apart from that desire, and I know that if I do this, you will lead me by the right road, though I may know nothing about it. Therefore, I will trust you always, though I may seem to be lost and in the shadow of death. I will not fear, for you are ever with me, and you will never leave me to face my perils alone. From Thomas Merton, Thoughts in Solitude, 1958. I just leave that with you as we look to this Sunday, our Now What Sunday, as we map ahead with those particular plans and commit them to the Lord. As today we celebrate the visit of the wise men, the Magi, to the Lord. Happy Christmas season and happy 2022.